So here we have another phase of this ever-changing mass strike in Germany. After the resignation of Guttenberg, or actually him being chased out of office, we have now the demand for Röttgen, the environmental secretary, to step down. This demand was made by the editor-in-chief of Wirtschaftswoche, one of the major economic journals. Now, this whole E10 biofuel scandal is obviously insane in various ways, and people have kind of caught onto that in their own way, because with this kind of mass strike, there's not necessarily tens of thousands on the street except in their cars, but people just realize, number one, there is a food crisis. People are starving. People have not forgotten that, and with the situation in North Africa, it's obviously clear that if you put wheat and corn and sugar in your tank, that you're killing people. But also, it turns out, what's so environmentally friendly about this? Some people have remarked that we're not reducing the amount of CO2 emitted. Also, these substances, when they leaked from tankers on the highway, actually started dissolving the asphalt, so that cubic meters underneath the street had to be removed, earth had to be removed, cleaned and put back, which is obviously immensely costly. So also that aspect is out of the window, and people simply don't accept it anymore. And it also has to do with the fact that this thing has been dictated again by the Politburo in Brussels, who also gave us these wonderfully toxic light bulbs that everybody's supposed to buy now by law, and also other nonsensical things sometimes that are even physically impossible, but they would nevertheless not be taken back by the Commission there, because it already has been put in print for 27 languages or something like that. And people realize that this is idiotic. Now, at the same time, Verdi has been on the streets in Frankfurt and other cities in Hessen, Rheinland-Pfalz, and other states of Germany in solidarity with the demonstrators in Wisconsin, which is very important. And one newspaper actually remarked that the silence of the press in Germany with regards to these things obviously is the fear that this would jump over and you would have demonstrations of that kind in Germany too. But these are already underway. In Dresden, 10,000 teachers are going on the street protesting against budget cuts. As it is always the case, the budget cuts, that's the big issue, also here in Berlin. So what I am doing with my campaign is we're calling for Glass-Steagall. We're making clear to people that even though we never had Glass-Steagall in Germany, it's a nonsensical thing to assume that the Bundestag would pass 80 laws to reinstate what we had as, you know, an acting kind of Glass-Steagall, which was basically 80 laws telling the banks what they couldn't do. And in that way, we are joining with, you know, the Minister Tremonti in Italy. We're joining with the Danish Parliament, who has called for an inquiry commission into the causes of the financial crisis modeled on the Angelidis Commission. And we're also joining with those in the Swedish Parliament who have discussed Glass-Steagall in the recent days. So this is what we're doing. And because simply, if you look at North Africa, there is no other way to solve this problem than Glass-Steagall, because Glass-Steagall is important to free up the credit that we need to develop these countries. Because if you don't get development into Egypt very quickly, this situation could also turn into a French Revolution style thing, where we'll just end up with chaos. And the chance that is there right now, by having, you know, gotten rid of this old system of the IMF and these old stupid dictators who have, you know, put up with the IMF and implemented whatever they wanted for 30 years. If we don't replace that with something positive, then the situation is really bad. So that's what we're making clear to people here. And as soon as you start looking, you know, over that little wall of your own little circumstances into that bigger world, into all the other countries that are fighting for this Glass-Steagall, all the individuals, all the action committees and so forth, you'll get a lot better image of what we can do ourselves. And yeah, that gives us the reason and the optimism to fight for Glass-Steagall.